In this episode of Pop Culture Weekly, it is all about PBS's A Capitol 4th 2025. I interview all the performers, including the Beach Boys, The Temptations, Lauren Daigle, Trombone Shorty, Josh Turner, and more. Let's go!
Welcome to Pop Culture Weekly with Kyle McMahon from iHeartRadio. Your pop culture news, views, reviews, and celebrity interviews on all the movies, TV, music, and pop culture you crave weekly. Here's Kyle McMahon.
Hello and welcome to Pop Culture Weekly with Kyle McMahon. I, of course, am Kyle McMahon, and I am live from the West Lawn of the U.S. Capitol for the rehearsals for A Capitol 4th, PBS's annual concert. It is a celebration of America. It's a party. I've been watching rehearsals all day, and it is going to be an incredible show. Depending on when you're listening to this, it airs live tonight on PBS at 8 o'clock Eastern, with an encore following directly after that at 9:30. And if, for some reason, you've missed it, first of all, rude, but secondly, you can catch it on demand through July 18th. And if you don't watch it live on PBS, you can also watch it on pbs.org, live streaming, YouTube, and Facebook. So let's just get right into these interviews. I've got a whole bunch of great interviews with the performers, and I'm excited to bring them to you. It's always a great show.
All right, I am here with the one and only Abi Carter on the West Lawn of the U.S. Capitol for A Capitol 4th on the 4th of July. What does that moment mean for you?
I mean, that's incredible. I mean, the 4th of July is one of my favorite holidays. It's the most, I've said together holiday. I can't find the right words for it, but it's the most, I don't know, it's really big on just community and coming together and celebrating something that means so much to all of us as a country. And I'm so honored to be here.
I love that. And you're performing The Climb, which I love that song so much. You do such an incredible job with it. What does that song mean for you, especially in this context?
I mean, in this context, it's incredible considering it's really just about the struggles of life and overcoming those things and realizing at the end of the day, the destination only means so much to you because of the journey behind it. And all of the struggles and things that you've gone through life are what make the positives so wonderful. And I'm honored to be singing it here today. I sung it when I was 10 years old at a talent show. And it's kind of a full circle moment to be able to come back here and sing it on much more of a national stage rather than at the Date Festival in my hometown. So I'm excited to do it and to be here.
And, under the lens of American Idol,
yeah,
I feel like The Climb also is kind of, kismet with that,
Yeah.
Does that resonate with you at all?
Absolutely. I mean, American Idol in itself was a struggle. Yeah. It was a competition for sure. And you had to work really hard every week to just keep moving forward. And sometimes it felt like, man, I wish I would just get voted home this week. I'm tired. But I mean, it made it all the much more worth it and more valuable to be there at the end and realize that you put so much work toward it and to get there.
So it was, in fact, all about The Climb.
It was all about The Climb.
What can we expect? You're working on your new album. You're working on your album now. You're touring next. What's up for, what can we expect from you next?
So I released an album this past November and I went on tour this spring, spring, kind of. And then I'm going back on tour in the fall, but I'm working on new music right now. And I love albums in general, so maybe or maybe not, I'm working on the next one.
If you are, it would be 26.
I mean, if it'd be 25, it be 2030. I don't know, but I'm working on it.
Awesome. Abi, thank you so much for speaking with me. I really appreciate it.
So much. I appreciate it.
Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Thank you, Abi. All right. I am here once again with Alfonso Ribeiro on the West Lawn of the U.S. Capitol.
Yes.
For Capitol 4th. I just saw you last month.
Yeah.
So you're hosting everything. You're hosting my birthday party next week, actually.
Right on. We'll work out the details.
Exactly.
The details.
What's it feel like? I mean, to be on the West Lawn of the United States Capitol, July 4th.
This is my third year hosting the show, and it is actually very quite special to be here on the West Lawn, Capitol building. We're out here about to have an incredible show tomorrow night, and we'll be doing a dress rehearsal tonight. And it's a very special thing to be here in America for our birthday, right? This is a celebration. It's a party, and we're having a party for all the positive things that we all feel about this country. Of course, there are things that are very difficult and difficult times for different people. But it's all about coming together, celebrating, being together, loving one another, trying to see eye to eye, and having a great time, and recognizing our independence from Great Britain many 249 years ago.
And do you find, this year there's some incredible stories that are featured of some of the brave men and women, who have given the ultimate sacrifice, and those that love and support them, and our first responders and that sort of thing. Do you feel a responsibility when you're hosting a show that features those kinds of stories, or are you able to kind of separate yourself for the show itself?
Well, I wouldn't say a responsibility. I would say what I do feel is the ability to be here and be part of this, part of their story, part of their celebratory moments, to pay, pay homage and honor them in this incredible space. I feel fortunate that I get to be a part of that. I love that. There's no pressure, right? It's about just being real and being true in the moment, and letting your heart speak for itself and letting that come through to the American public. So for me, it's an honor to be able to be a part of that.
I love that. You and I had talked a couple of years ago about if you weren't here, you would be in your RV, in your motorhome, going across the country
somewhere.
Are you still into that, or
still into it? Not as much lately. I've been a little busy, so less road trips, smaller road trips rather than the full cross country road trips. But the plan is to obviously do it again. But this week, I probably would have been at home hanging out at the golf club and getting ready for my tournament next week. That's what I probably would have been doing.
I love that. Alfonso, as always, it's a pleasure.
Thank you, sir. Thanks for having me.
I'll see you next week and your host of my birthday. I am here with the one and only Mike Love with the Beach Boys. You performing on the West Lawn of the United States Capitol, Washington, D.C. for Capitol 4th on the 4th of July.
That's right.
What is that like, the Beach Boys doing that?
That's an amazing thing. It's the 49th anniversary. We were here a few years back, and Jimmy Buffett came out and sang the second verse of Kokomo with us. So that was quite an iconic moment.
Yes.
But this time our buddies LOCASH, who just had a #1 record in country, are joining us on stage. And they're doing their song, their three favorite colors, which is red, white, and blue, which is perfect for this occasion.
Yeah.
And we, the Beach Boys have been known for having fun for many years. And so we're just really blessed and delighted to be able to come out and perform on America's holiday.
I love that. And you've been in the business for so long, performing iconic hits like this.
Yes.
Does it have a different meaning today to perform these songs than it did when you first debuted them?
It's a little extra special because years ago we had an idea to come out and do a free concert on July 4th, and that was a lot of incredible. It was like a Guinness Book of Records. There's so many people on the monument grounds. But this is an iconic 49-year tradition going on 50. And we are so blessed to be invited to be part of the celebration of July 4th.
Amazing. Thank you, sir. I really appreciate it. And I can't wait to see you tomorrow.
Thank you very much.
Thank you. All right, I am here live at the West Lawn of the Capitol with LOCASH for a Capitol 4th. How you guys doing?
Man, we're doing fantastic. What a great day, man.
Excited.
Yeah, so you're performing one of your own songs. You're also performing with the Beach Boys. What does that feel like on 4th of July,
That's surreal. Anytime you get to share the stage with an icon like the Beach Boys, I mean, it's amazing. And Mike Love and Bruce have become like big brothers to us. And so we've been on tour with them this year. They asked us to be part of this, and we were honored. This is awesome.
Yeah. When you're doing a song with the Beach Boys? You know, you have your own catalog, which we'll talk about in a moment, but when you're doing a song with them, do you feel like, you know, any extra pressure than your own material, or?
I mean, there's always pressure because you're with such an iconic group, but Mike has just been family to us, and we've always felt like family with those guys. Their music is very positive. Our music is very positive. We looked up to those guys growing up, and writing the songs kind of like the Beach Boys, you know, as much as we can. So we're happy to be here, honored to be here for America.
I love that. And finally, you just put out an album song that went #1 again. What does that feel like? At this point in your career, you're still releasing these hits?
Well, it's extra special. You know, we started our own record label,
right?
Hired our own radio team, whole staff. And so we pushed this song up ourselves. We just decided to roll up our sleeves and do it ourselves. And we've been in this industry for a while, and we knew what it would take. And it took some hard work, but we got our first #1. It's a 2-week #1, Hometown Home. If you haven't heard it, check it out. And Wrong Hearts is out now. It's our fastest rising single yet to date. So we're off to a good start, and we're thankful for it.
I love that. Finally, you guys, you released some upbeat bops, right?
Yeah.
And why has that been, you know, kind of a hallmark of your career, as you guys do uplifting bops? You know, why was that important to you as artists?
I think as music goes, I mean, like the Beach Boys, like Huey Lewis, that kind of stuff where you're driving in the car and you remember as a kid and you just roll down the windows and just makes you feel good. You know, there's a lot of stuff going on, and people have a lot of stories, and, you know, there's a lot of negative, and we got to try and find the positive in everything. And music can do that. Music can bring those people there, you know, and us too. So we rely on music, and it's everything. And that's where we've kind of taken LOCASH to that level to make, you know, hey, every now and then we'll have a slow song, but we want to hit the hearts of America.
I love that. LOCASH, thank you so much.
Thank you, man.
I really appreciate you as well.
You know,
Capital Fort.
All right, we're going to take a quick break to pay the bills. I will be back in 60 seconds. Thank you for supporting our sponsors. Be right back. All right, thank you for hanging in there and supporting our sponsors. They help me make this show, which is how I'm able to bring it to you. So, all right, let's get right back into our interviews. Live from the West Lawn of the Capitol in rehearsals for a Capitol 4th.
All right, I am here with the one and only Lauren Daigle on the West Lawn of the U.S. Capitol for a Capitol 4th. What's it feel like to be performing here in D.C. for the 4th of July?
Oh, first of all, I'm so honored. I got to bring my family, my parents, and there's this really sweet moment where my mom, last night we were talking about being out here after rehearsals, and she said, Lauren, do you realize this is the closest I've ever been to the Capitol? And I thought, oh my goodness, it is so special. So I know there's going to be a lot of families in the crowd. I know there's going to be a lot of families having picnics and things like that. Just getting to celebrate the 4th, it's very exciting.
I love that. And one of the songs that you're performing, Rescue, it's such a powerful song. What was that? Why that song for this moment?
Okay, well, I'm really excited. I don't know if this is a spoiler alert. Are we allowed to say? Okay, I'm like, the beauty of that song is because it's going to be met with so many first responders on stage. And whenever they told me, they asked about it like a couple weeks before our rehearsals. And I was like, do y'all want me to sing the song or cry? I feel like for me, it's going to be one of the most moving moments of the evening.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm really excited. What those people pave, my brother's a first responder, and what they see and what they experience and what they go through on a day in and day out basis is really powerful. And any moment in life that we get to thank them and honor them and show our gratitude for everything that they've done to keep this country safe and to keep people looked after is really beautiful to me.
I love that.
Yeah.
And on another note, you had gone for American Idol a couple of times.
Yeah.
Your journey took you in a much different place. Do you think it all worked out the way it was meant to? And, you know?
Oh, yeah. I'm so grateful. And I still have great relationships with the American Idol team. I've gone back a couple of times to sing with some of the contestants and stuff. But I remember when I got told no on American Idol, when I was walking out, the double doors open, Simon Cowell had just said no. And tears started filling my eyes, and my mom looked at me and she said, Lauren, you can either believe the no of man or the yes of God. And if you believe God's calling you to do this, then just stay focused. And it really did something to me. I remember saying, don't cry about this. Get up, girl, let's go. And it was the first day that I realized, oh, I really care about this. Because sometimes when you're told no, it's actually fuel. You realize, oh, this is something I care about. If it hurts, if it doesn't hurt, then you're like, oh, I guess I didn't really care about that as much as I thought I did, you know? So it's just a beautiful moment for me to realize, oh, I actually care about this and I really want to pursue music. And so the journey began, honestly, from that moment.
I love that.
Yeah.
And finally, you are so inspirational in your performance and your music. What do you want people to take from Lauren Daigle?
Oh, I love that. I honestly, anytime that I get to sing, I just want to spread hope into this world, the hope of Christ, the hope of knowing anybody who's going through any situation. If you need someone to lean on, if you need someone who is for you and not against you, for me, that is Jesus, you know? So when I think, what does Lauren Daigle look like? I just want to reflect his glory and his goodness. And I want that to be able to be seen for generations to come. That's my hope.
I love that.
Yeah.
Lauren, thank you so much. I really appreciate it.
I appreciate it.
So I am here with the one and only Trombone Shorty, all the way from New Orleans, Washington, D.C., a Capital Fourth. Just heard you rehearse. Awesome medley. What's this moment like for you?
Oh, it's a wonderful moment to be able to represent the great city of New Orleans on a national stage in front of America is a beautiful thing for me. And hopefully we can make the city of New Orleans proud by being here. So it's big for me to be able to be a representative of that place.
How did you decide what songs in that medley that you were going to do?
I just thought that we would choose an original song, Hurricane Seizure, that kind of capture the brass band second line feel of what I grew up playing, and also some New Orleans classics, Mardi Gras in New Orleans by the great Professor Longhaul, which is the standard. And When the Saints Go Marching In is just a great song that bring everyone together and sing along with.
Speaking of New Orleans, you're from the Trombone neighborhood, correct?
Yes, yes.
So how has that influenced your work and your career? I mean, it's a very specific neighborhood in New Orleans.
Yes, that's the 6th Ward in New Orleans. It's where Congo Square is. But I grew up in like a musician village, naturally. There was a Reaper brass band that lived around the corner, Kermit Ruffins. Of course, my family, the Andrews family, all brass musicians. The late, great Tuba Fats was there, the Treme brass band. So I would wake up in the morning and go to school, elementary school, and I would see people playing jazz funerals and parades. And then I would come home and then they would be celebrating whatever it is. So I was surrounded by music in their neighborhood my entire life. So it's a big, without that place, I wouldn't be here today.
Wow, I love that. You have this very specific fusion of traditional jazz and hip hop and pop. How did that all come about for you for that Trombone Shorty sound?
Well, all of that music is things that I grew up playing or being a part of or listening to. So having people like the Neville Brothers and Dr. John, also being able to work with people like Manny Fresh and Cash Money Records as I was coming up. All of those situations are like gumbo to me. Everyone I get placed in, I take a little bit from it and add it to the sound. So even though we grew up in a very traditional city, I was still listening to Master P and the Hot Boys and stuff as a youngster, as a teenager. So that's type of music. I didn't block that out and I just put it into my music. Then I had a chance to work with him personally, and then everywhere I go, I just take a little bit from it like a sponge.
I love that. So this finally, and this kind of builds off that, you've worked with Madonna, Bruno Mars, Lenny Kravitz, all kinds of incredible artists. Do you take something from each of them and give them trombone as well?
Well, you know, I think whenever I play with them, they might take a little bit, but I'm definitely learning from some of the great people and in any situation I get in, everyone has a different musical approach. So whatever that may be, I try to take a little bit from that naturally because I'm a fan of music and I'm just learning from everyone that I touch the stage with or record with, because a lot of people are very strong at certain things and you can learn from that. So I definitely bring everything I can. You know, to me, music is like a neighborhood, a musical neighborhood. So any place I go, I try to take a little bit away from that. and add it to my thing.
That's amazing. The one and only Trombone Shorty. Thank you, brother.
Thank you.
I appreciate it.
Hey, pleasure, my brother.
Of course.
All right.
So, first of all, thank you for speaking with me, Josh. I appreciate it.
Yeah.
The song that you're performing for Capital Fourth has a bit of more meaning for you than just as it may seem to somebody listening. Can you tell me about that story a little?
Yeah, so a little over 10 years ago, I had asked my uncle if I could see all of my granddaddy's military records, papers, medals, anything he had. I knew he had been awarded the Purple Heart. Unfortunately, the Purple Heart had been lost or misplaced, but that wasn't necessarily the most important thing to me. It was the story and reading his papers, trying to figure out, what his story was, because he never talked about it. Nobody in our family really knew a whole lot about what he had done. And so I just kind of started digging into it, and I was inspired almost a year later to write this song, and just kind of stashed it away. It kind of sat on the shelf for basically a decade.
Wow.
Until this record. And I just felt like it was the right time to bring it to the surface and to the light, and it's so far it's meant a lot to a lot of people. I kind of regret not bringing it out sooner, but everything happens for a reason, and the timing was right.
Yeah. And now it's on your latest album. You are now performing that song. Well, I think you debuted it around Memorial Day.
Yeah.
And now you're performing it on the West Lawn of the U.S. Capitol in D.C. for the 4th of July. That has to be a surreal thing for you.
It is. This is one of only 2 songs throughout my whole career that I ever cried about during, like, in the studio, because I was so moved by the fact that I had written something that was a tribute to my granddaddy, and a story that had never been told. And so I just felt overwhelmed by emotion. And then all of these opportunities that I've had, with this, I've got to play it on Veterans Day last year, on the Today Show. We got to do a small little video for it and debuted it, like you said, on Memorial Day. All of these different veterans events. And now, here at the Capital Fourth, out here in our nation's capital, is just, it's kind of overwhelming. So it's pretty awesome.
You've been very vocal open about your faith, speaking about that, and you've also been in the business for a long time. Is there a time where you feel your faith was tested, that you were obviously able to persevere, and how did you do that?
I feel like it's always tested, but early on in my career it was definitely tested, because nobody knew who I was. Nobody knew really what I stood for. Nobody knew anything about my music or me as an artist or as a person or how I wanted to conduct my business. And so all of that, coming together all at once was extremely stressful. It took a toll on me physically, mentally, spiritually. And I just had to persevere. I had to take it one step at a time, one decision at a time. And I had to do what I felt like I knew was right and what I felt like the Lord was telling me to do. And so I'd say it's worked out.
Yeah.
I've been doing this now for over 20 years and still having fun, still love what I do. And I got a great group of people around me fighting for me every day. And so, it's a testament to perseverance.
I love that. And finally, what's next for you? What can we expect next?
I'm on tour pretty heavily right now on the This Country Music Thing tour.
Supporting the album.
Promoting my latest record, which I'm very proud of. So yeah, we'll be all across the country this year, and just got some things in the hopper, but I can't really talk about those things.
All right, but you'll come on iHeart and tell us when you're ready. Josh, thank you so much. I really appreciate it. All right, I am here on the West Lawn of the U.S. Capitol with the one and only Temptations. The 4th of July, what does this moment mean to you to perform here once again at the Capitol?
Well, we are repeating history because we were here about 5 or 6 years ago, and here we are again celebrating our nation's birthday. So it's a wonderful occasion.
And you have so many iconic hits, right? You guys, the soundtrack to so many lives. How do you decide, how do you narrow it down to just a handful?
Well, what we will do, and will not do, we will not take My Girl out. Now, we can do a whole lot of things around My Girl, but that song, we got cussed out a long time ago when we took it out. So Paul, who was in the group at the time, he said, we can never take that song out. So My Girl is always stay, and we build around My Girl.
Okay. going off of Capitol Fourth for a moment, you guys are an originator of vocal groups, legends, icons. Over the generations, how have you all seen specifically vocal groups change through time and music?
Well, the one thing in life that is certain is change. And we've been able to adapt to whatever change is necessary for the Temptations to continue on. So that's the strong point of any group. But for the Temptations, we are very flexible. For whatever the business is, we will be that, long as it's good business.
Yeah, I love that. And, as you're performing, you guys are touring, you released a new album a few years back. As you're doing these projects, do you see it from a different lens today than you did, say when you first started out?
No, we're still hungry. See, we started out with the Eye of the Tiger, and we're going to finish it with the Eye of the Tiger. Now, we love it, and it's an amazing feat that you be able to last. We've been around for 60 plus years. You do wonderful good if you were to be around for 4 or 5 years. Here we are over half a century, so it's a blessing.
I love that. Capitol Fourth, West Lawn of the U.S. Capitol with the Temptations. Thank you all so much. I really appreciate it.
All right, that's our show for this episode. PBS's annual Capitol Fourth. It's such an amazing celebration of America. It's a big party with incredibly beautiful tributes to our men and women, the brave men and women and their families and their support systems that help make us safe. So be sure to check it out Friday, July 4th, live on PBS, Facebook, and YouTube, and pbs.org, 8 p.m. Eastern, with a encore presentation at 9:30. And if you miss it, you can catch it on demand through July 18th. So let me know what you think of this episode. I will see you next week. I love you. We up.
Thank you for listening to Pop Culture Weekly. Hear all the latest at popcultureweekly.com.
In the rocket's red glare, the bombs bursting in air gave proof through the night that a flag